Hey everybody. So I just realized I accidentally deleted the intro video when I was going through the thing. So that's why there's no intro video today.
I was like, wow, man, I was unprepared for that. I was like kind of
Neither.
sitting here. I was kind of sitting here waiting. I'm like, all right, it'll be good to go. And then,
Neither.
yeah.
I look over and I'm like, oh shit, what am I going to play? The countdown or just...
Calm the fuck down.
How the hell do you? Oh, how the hell do you accidentally do that?
Well, it's because I had some stuff in here that I just cleared out from because this was used for an old show.
Sure.
And I was clearing out a few things. I just wasn't paying attention. I fucking accidentally deleted it. So I gotta find it. But anyways, welcome very much. Thank you. Welcome everybody to the Squared Slice. I am your friendly neighborhood soda, joined as always by Dustin, who is a quarter of the Rude Brood. How are you doing today?
I'm splendid. How are you doing, Soda?
I'm doing good. Just competed in an IG match over on the Outlaw Patreon network, so go check that out. It's always a lot of fun. Some great competitors in there, and you've even got some people from the FCL who compete.
Ooh.
So, which is always good.
When are you throwing your hat into that realm, Soda? When are you going to become the FCL guy?
When I'm not doing 6 shows on this channel, and I actually have time to study.
That's true. What do you? Come on, just go for it. I hear your record's so good, it doesn't matter, right?
Let's see. In IG, I've lost twice.
Okay.
Once in the first title match.
And, right. I think I remember you saying that.
Singles, I got my ass whooped by Brennan Marr. So if any of you have seen the FCL, you know
how
good it is.
Yeah, he's
Those
good.
are really my only losses.
Look at that, Soda. It's your calling is coming.
And like I said, it's not that I can't do it. It's just I don't have time to commit. If I did, I would seriously consider it.
Yeah.
Also, living in Canada is harder. Like, say, for example, everything goes well and I get called up to the Schmodown. It's going to be logistically tough.
Yeah, that'd be so tough. I mean, they have a tough enough time finding people in the States that are a couple states away, let alone throwing that border. I mean, look at Oyama. Look at the nightmare that is, and that's Hawaii.
Yeah.
So well,
I'm not holding my breath, but I'm not saying it wouldn't be fun. But I mean, like, that's something for later on down the line.
Yeah. Well, I'm pulling for you, sir.
Well, thank you very much. But we are not here to discuss my future prospects in the Schmodown. We are here to discuss basically the Survivor Series, because we just had the latest edition this past weekend, which, I'm not going to lie, kicked off with one of the best matches I've seen this year.
Yes. I was just going to say, we have to talk about the Becky and Charlotte match. It was so good.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that blurs the lines between reality and what they do, because you know the story going into it. But it's like you're watching. It's like, okay, is there animosity spilling out here, or is it just that they're really good professionally that they're making it look like they hate each other? It's like one of those you don't quite know.
Well, and isn't that always kind of like what the old adage is if you don't like each other, sometimes backstage it makes it better on TV.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it sure felt like that. I mean, they came out. They kicked the shit out of each other. They came out hard hitting. Like it. I remember when it was done, if only the finish wasn't so fine.
See, I liked it, but here's why I like it. It's because if you look at it from a psychology standpoint, Becky was smarter than Charlotte at that point, because Charlotte away put her hand on the rope, whereas Becky waited till like the last possible moment.
Yes, totally. Oh, I totally get it. I don't know. I just still felt because it was so hard hitting. And it was like so in your face and so intense that a roll up reversal, it pulled it down a little bit. But I'm not going to put that in it, because I was just like you. I was like, this might have been one of the best matches I've seen all year. This was awesome.
But with that ending, though, it does plant that seed to open the possibility of a Mania match, because now you got Charlotte. You can go, you didn't beat me clean. You know, they can do that whole sort of thing. So I mean, it opens up the possibilities.
Exactly. Well, and exactly what WWE. Oh, don't go for it.
So this was I think the second time they faced each other one-on-one on pay-per-view.
Yes.
The other time being Evolution in the last women's standing match. Which match do you think was better?
I'd have to rewatch, but that match last night, like, it's one of the matches that'll stick in my head. I think, like, it was that, or I shouldn't say last night, but on Saturday, Sunday, it was that good. Like, there was something about it. It was just the intensity of it.
Yeah, and the mystique.
It had a good build. It's kicked off the show awesome, which actually was almost bad because the rest of the show couldn't compare to how good the opening match was. And and this isn't to knock any female wrestlers or anything, but it's hard to it's hard to find the ones that really stick out. And that match, I mean, really
Mm-hmm.
sticks out. And I feel like in a year from now, when you and I probably talk Survivor Series all over again,
We'll be talking about this match.
I think so. I think it was that. I think it was that like just good for women's just wrestling.
That last woman standing is my favorite match on that card as well. But if I'm being 100% honest, we will remember this one more.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. See, and my evolution, man, I'm super keen on that Becky or excuse me, the Nikki Ronda match. I'm super into that match as a thing.
A surprise match.
It was. I'm actually a Nikki Bella guy, so I'm like I like her a lot. But I thought that was awesome, and that's always what sticks out on me on that show. I really thought the main event was super, super good on that. But
I need to go back and watch that show because it was one of them. It was.
I should rewatch it too.
Favorite. Yeah, it's one of the few from recent memory that's not a big four that I bought on DVD.
That's cool. Yeah, I should rewatch that. I have rewatched that main event of that show with Nikki and Ronda before, but I haven't rewatched the rest of the show. Well, then, what did you think of kind of like we just said? What did you think of the rest of the show?
I honestly don't remember much about it.
Right.
100% honest, I don't remember a lot.
I know. I do remember the 5-on-5 guys match was fun.
That was good and that was fun.
It was fun.
That was what it was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be fun. I thought they booked it well. Yeah. Crazy how over Jeff Hardy was.
Oh, of course. That's a guy he will never make to be over.
Yeah, and he needs to I don't know, just upon hearing it, you know what? There's a lot of time between now and Royal Rumble and Mania. WWE has to kill a couple months here, which they do every year. Man, he's on SmackDown.
You think we could get another not
maybe not a run, but at least a shot at Roman?
Yeah, I think
because and the only reason why I bring it up too is I don't know if I'm sure you saw that Jeff Hardy's on Broken Skull Sessions.
I did, yeah.
Tomorrow, which is super interesting. I just happened to be scrolling on Facebook today, and they had one of the little clip outs from Broken Skull Sessions, and it was Austin asked him if you could wrestle anyone now that you haven't wrestled, who would it be? And he said Roman, and then he looked into the camera and almost cut a promo on Bloodline. Oh, and I'm like, ooh, that can't be coincidence.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah.
Overall,
I think honestly, he's gone to the point where he does deserve that last match.
Why not? I think people would be all about it. Who cares if he loses to Roman? It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
people will still love it.
It's back.
I love how you couldn't let it go. I love how you're like,
oh, fuck no.
I'm like, I gotta know. You're like, I've gotta be there.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That was our thoughts on this past weekend Survivor Series. Sure. Now, do you want to talk about our favorite ones, or do you want to go save the topic for the last?
No, let's talk about some of the stuff that you like about Survivor Series.
Well, I know. Okay, so the early days was fun because it was just a bunch of wrestlers coming together for an event, and that was always fun because you got to see combinations you didn't really see. And of course, the middle years for the most part, Bildrum. But I might be one of the few on this. I don't know, but I actually like the brand supremacy thing.
Me too.
Yeah,
I do as well. I think I like it when the fact that I don't know how they create stakes. That's the only issue.
That's the thing.
If they could
create
the
last true one that you think had stakes?
On all honesty, it's not even a Survivor. True, that's it. It's 2014. That match felt important.
Yeah, and it was. You had the right guy winning, and just unfortunately they dropped the ball after that. But I remember that was the most heavily invested in a match at the time that I had been in a long time.
Right, and they gave that match tons of time.
For sure, it was the whole last hour.
It's the whole last hour. I mean, it's intense how hard they go. And all 5 guys on both sides have some sort of story going with someone else. So that's a really.
And then you had the everyone else, right? But yeah, that match went 43 minutes.
It felt all of it. And I remember like
because it
sitting
was
through
you're
it.
fired, winner take all, right?
Right. Well, because remember that feeling when they eliminated Cena and
Mm-hmm.
everybody
Yeah, because you're like, oh shit.
everybody couldn't believe it. They
Yeah,
eliminated him like third on the babyface team, and you're like, they
yeah, and
just
like
eliminated John Cena.
here are the stakes in this match because I had to bring it up on Wikipedia.
Please do. Yeah.
If team, so we all know who won. It was Team Cena. But if Cena's team had lost, Cena's teammates, but not Cena himself, would have been fired. Whereas if the Team Authority had lost, they would all be removed from power. Triple H was ended up being fired as COO. Kane was fired as director of operations, and Stephanie was fired as one of the principal owners of WWE. Again, whole storyline.
Right.
That was the last time a Survivor Series felt truly important. Although I will say it did kick out a notch a couple years ago when they introduced NXT into the fold.
I was just gonna say the female NXT one from what 3 years, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. That was when the females NXT Rhea and Io and Candice LeRae.
What 2018?
But they those three NXT girls beat the other. Like they were the sole survivors. There's three of them.
And NXT
that was huge.
That year was getting pushed to the moon.
They were. That was before they brought pretty much that whole group to the main roster, and that was like that year or two where they were really pushing. Yeah, that was that year that they're putting them.
That year we had the Viking Raiders defeat the New Day and the Undisputed Era in the tag champions triple threat. You had, this is the one you're referring to, Team NXT of Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, Toni Storm, defeating Team Raw of Charlotte, Natalya, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Sarah Logan, which is kind of an outlier in there. And Team SmackDown, which was Sasha, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Nikki Cross. That's a fucking killer lineup.
Yep. Well, and like I said, the shock is the fact that Rhea, Candice, and Io were. It wasn't just Rhea. No, they had three of the NXT girls still standing, which is awesome.
And then you had Roderick Strong, who was North American champion, defeat AJ Styles and Shinsuke.
That's right.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, and then this is, I think, the only time this has ever happened on pay-per-view, but Adam Cole defended against Pete Dunne for the NXT Championship. I cannot remember another time where the NXT title was defended on a major pay-per-view, and this was the night after War Games.
Yes.
The night after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. We had Fiend Bray Wyatt defeating Daniel Bryan, a match I forgot it happened for the title.
Was that the bull rope one?
No, this was not the bull rope one. There was no stipulation on this one. And then for the men's, you had Team SmackDown of Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, King Corbin, Mustafa Ali, and Shorty G, defeating Team Raw of Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Ricochet, and NXT, which was Ciampa, Priest, Riddle, Keith Lee, and Walter.
Yeah, that's a gross NXT team right there. Holy hell.
Brock Lesnar kicking the shit out of Rey Mysterio for the title.
Which was a great match. Super fun. Great build and lead up to that match, too.
Now, think of this. This was the main event. Shayna Baszler, NXT Women's Champion, defeating Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, and Bayley, SmackDown Champion, by submission.
God, that's a good pay-per-view. Okay, now that we say that, that's really good.
Honestly, that's the last, in my opinion, the true great Survivor Series.
So you got to think. So in 11, so like let's say last decade, there's been 2 Survivor Series that have maybe mattered. Yeah. So what do you think now, man? You watch this one. So now they've switched it to, every title holder faces each other, which really at the end of the day doesn't mean anything.
No, of course not, because there's no stakes.
So then they throw random female match, 5-on-5, random male match, 5-on-5, and that's the whole show. Is it time to wrap this up, Soda, or do you think we should save it?
It's hard to say because this year was weird because it happened a few weeks after Crown Jewel. There was no booking. Nobody really cared.
Right. Well, and it's weird, too, that I even thought of the booking after the fact that there's not a pay-per-view until the first of the year.
Right? Because they took away the TLC pay-per-view thing.
Because they took it away, which is good for us. But still, so now you go into Survivor Series, and now you, literally say, oh, we don't really have any plans for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, right?
It's tough. It really, really is tough. Just because it's a historical pay-per-view. It's the second one they ever did. but you do need to retool it somehow, and you need to make it matter, which unfortunately WWE dropped the ball on this year because of Crown Jewel.
Right. And you're right. And I mean, I do really like. I don't know. I don't know what you do because I really don't mind the women's title holders wrestling each other and the males. I actually think that's the intriguing part now, to me. Like I got excited for Becky, Charlotte for many reasons besides just the fact that they were the title holders. But I was excited for Roman, Big E. Like I'm like, this is interesting.
I had to leave before that match. I still haven't got back and watched it.
It's fine. It was nothing. I mean, at the end of the day, you just can't beat Roman right now.
True, but in my opinion, it was missed opportunity to have the true main event, New Day Bloodline. Now I know Kofi's injured.
They have to have this has to happen, right?
Yeah, it should have happened here.
What right? Maybe, yeah. Because when's Kofi due back? He has to be due back.
It has to be soon.
It has. Maybe that's your day one.
Your New Year's one.
That's your New Year's one. It's day one. New Day, Bloodline. That's a great main event.
Yeah,
because then you don't have
New Day on day one.
Exactly, and you don't have to worry about building someone
right
for Roman right now
or Big
E. That could be the build, and then once that's over and they get in a Royal Rumble, then you figure out where their paths go. Because that's going to be interesting too. I mean, not to sidetrack this from Survivor Series, it is going to be interesting to see who's the person. Because right now, I don't think there's a clear-cut person for either one of them at Mania.
No, because I mean, you could have made the argument for Big E to be the one to dethrone Roman, but now he's the WWE champion. I mean, you could do Drew Roman, I guess.
Oh God, please don't.
Seth Big E, I think, is the money one, but it looks like they're going to probably be doing that sooner rather than later.
I think so too. I think that's going to happen first.
Yeah, honestly, WWE's booking is so all over the place right now that I cannot. Normally, it's pretty easy to say, okay, this looks like the guy, but right now.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they fully. It'll be interesting to see what they do when Brock comes back. If they're still going to commit to Brock and Roman.
That's either Mania or Rumble. That's got to be one of those two.
They said it on. They said it on Survivor Series that his suspension's up. So he's probably coming back for that pay-per-view. He might not be wrestling on it, but he's probably going to show up. If it's their first New Year's Eve pay-per-view, they got to make it all
to cost Roman the title or to cost Roman the match, and then that's right.
Yeah, because you would think, because I still don't think they're going to Mania with Roman and Brock. I don't think they are. So why not?
It's been done too many times. If I'm being honest, like as much as this current angle between them, I enjoy. How many times can we see Brock Roman at WrestleMania? Like hell, we only saw Hogan Savage once.
I know.
And I think those are two bigger stars than these guys.
Of course. I don't know. It's interesting. But that's what makes Survivor Series interesting. So all right, so the question for you, Soda, is what stakes can you put on this pay-per-view to make it relevant again?
The winning team gets first dibs at number 30.
That's a good one. And then the losing team, or like, and then
the winning team gets 30. The losing team gets number 1.
Gets number 1. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not have that implication in there? That used to be the fun part of the Royal Rumble too. Was there used to be stakes in the numbers? Like remember they do the
storylines leading up to it. Like if we all remember Benoit in 2004, like his whole thing with Paul Heyman, who put him in as number 1, and he went on to win the Royal Rumble. Like that was a great storyline.
Yeah. Well, you had the Eddie Guerrero stealing Flair's number thing, and that made a whole other storyline. You used to have. I still never forget this one because it's so funny to look back. But it was like the 1990. I think it was the 1995 or 96 Royal Rumble, and remember they used to do the free for alls before the show started.
Yeah.
And they had a wrestler. It was a match to get the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble, and it was Jeff Jarrett versus Duke the Dumpster Drosy, and the Dumpster won. Yeah, and he was number 30.
Yeah,
like makes no sense, but funny.
And I personally, like, again, this is not Survivor Series, but like the Rumble is a great place to start feuds. Like that, out of the Royal Rumble, we got arguably one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time: Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle.
Versus Kurt Angle. Yeah. Yeah, oh gosh. You could tell Survivor Series doesn't matter anymore when now me and you were like, Royal Rumble's in 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is gonna be so fun. This is the best time to be a wrestling fan.
I hate to say it, but the Survivor Series does.
I think it's time to just get rid of it.
Might be time to retire, which I know they did. They did actually cancel it 1 year, but they brought it back because fans bitched.
Why? I think it's time to
11 years ago.
It was. I think it's time to finally do what you and I have talked about before, and what I think a lot of fans want.
Mm-hmm.
Just make Money in the Bank the 4th.
Amen, brother.
Just do it. Commit to it.
But here's the thing, though. You don't want money. It's hard because you can't move SummerSlam. You can't move Mania. You can't move Rumble. You don't want Money in the Bank too close to Rumble.
Right. That is the issue. Is the one issue that's there, is the timing of it.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But okay, so then the other question I have for you, what are some of your early memories of Survivor Series?
So I didn't really watch like wrestling shows a lot until probably beginning of Attitude Era, but obviously being Canadian, you couldn't help but know about the Montreal Screwdriver.
Of course.
Right. So that's that. Like it. So Survivor Series was a concept I was definitely aware of, and I did used to see like Survivor some of the older Survivor Series on tape at my local video store. But the first one I rented was 96.
Yeah. I as you and I talked about quick last week, but 96 is one of my favorite pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I love the 96 Survivor Series.
When was the last time you watched it?
I usually watch it every couple of years. It's been a couple of years probably.
Yeah,
I have it very well burnt into my brain.
I rewatched it earlier in the year, and outside of like The Rock debuting and like who was in that match,
which is fun.
Which is you look at that, you're like, holy shit, all Hall of Famers. Yep. And the first match between Bret Hart and Austin, which I think is underrated.
So underrated. It's so good.
And the main event, the rest of the card isn't that great, if I'm being honest.
It's not
quality-wise.
It's not. Trust me. There's some rough parts in here, but even the rough parts to me, it's probably nostalgia.
Yeah, for
sure. It's still fun. That main event is the coolest Psycho Sid ever was.
Oh, for sure. And they were booing Michaels.
Oh my gosh. When Psycho Sid came through, I just imagine him as a kid, because I remember thinking it, where he's just fist pounding.
Yeah.
Everybody, because he's so into it, because the crowd is so behind him.
That,
even though he's
for a guy who's in the ring, wasn't the best promo. That dude was over.
I think we've talked about it before. He looked so awesome.
He still does.
I know he still does. Yeah, he's a badass.
Well, yeah, his I'm gonna have to bring that up because that was just holy shit.
Yeah. No, it's a great show, isn't there? And then the other singles match on there, isn't that Mankind and Taker too?
That's right, Mankind and Taker, the first one, and that's the one where Undertaker descended from the rafters like Gene Simmons. He's wearing all leather.
Yeah, interesting. The couple of 5-on-5 matches, I remember parts of them. I remember that was when they debuted Doug Furnace and Phil Fawn, and nobody knew who they were.
That was that one.
And they try to make a big deal out of it, but everybody's like, we don't know these people.
Yeah, but in reality, they were one of the biggest acts worldwide. But yeah, look at Sid here. Like,
God, I know. He's so cool.
Yeah.
God, I love Sid.
He just has
that. Yeah.
It. That's.
He has the.
I did not like this look. The fucking
Which one?
From SummerSlam '91.
Yeah. I thought his look in WCW was good when he started to wear the jeans.
Oh, you mean when he broke his leg?
Yeah. Well, I mean that's not. No, that looks terrible.
I mean from that time. Yeah.
God. Did you ever watch any of his stuff when he was in ECW?
No.
You should watch. His debut is against, and of course they did it for a reason, but he debuts out of nowhere. I think he replaces Mike Awesome on the show. Like Mike Awesome couldn't be there or something. Mm-hmm. And they debut him and he wrestles Spike Dudley and he kills him. I mean, throws him everywhere and just beats the shit out of him, which is pretty awesome.
You remember what show it was?
I don't. It was probably 99.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was after the WCW run. Or
After
no. When did he break his leg?
No, his leg in early 2000s.
In the early 2000s. So it was between his two runs in WCW because he left there because he was still in the jeans. Yeah. He had a couple matches. I know he wrestled the FBI when he was teaming with Balls Mahoney and Spike, I think, at one time. He was just literally, they just booked him for random stuff.
Dudley Boyz, John Cronus, Skull Von Crush, and Just Incredible, and he left in May after having signed in January.
There you go.
Skull Von Crush, otherwise known as Big Vito.
Big Vito.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, but no, the 96 Survivor Series, I know you and I have talked about on here, the 98 Survivor Series is another one that we...
to 2001, which is memorable because of of Austin dumping the fucking Triple H in the car.
Oh, yeah, that's in the car, which is so funny to rewatch.
And then was it Hunter on TV the next night or something like that? Yeah. Of course, 99 has got Triple H. Has got Rikishi running down Austin, and that's really that and Big Show winning are like the only two things from that one that stand out. 01 is a different outlier because that's the first brand supremacy one because that was the end of the Alliance angle.
Yep,
that's one I that's probably the one I've rewatched the most. If I'm being honest,
is the 01?
01,
the Alliance one,
the first wrestling DVD I ever bought.
Yeah, well, the Alliance that's a great segment. That might be like one of the best Survivor Series segments. Is that Alliance ending there?
Yeah, the first wrestling DVD I ever bought. Yeah, I know we've talked about in the past, but like the main event, man, Rock, Jericho, Undertaker, Kane, Big Show versus Austin, Kurt Angle, Rob Van Dam, Booker T, Shane McMahon.
Yes, that's so good. That's a fun match too.
Oh, for sure.
It's a complete cluster. But
and it also came with this awesome poster.
Well, I mean...
Yep. Why that's on my wall, I do not know.
Surprised that pages come apart, soda.
Well, no, there were other methods for that.
You know the other thing of Survivor Series. You know the other one I think of too is I'm sure it's one. Isn't it 02 or 03 with the Elimination Chamber, the first one?
Oh,
with HBK and Triple H. Is that 02? Yeah, that's the other one that always comes to my head. See,
that's the one I like to watch.
Yeah, but then you get in there. If you get from like 02 to 03 to 10 years later,
yeah,
I don't know what in there ever crosses my mind.
Well, I know there was what year was that? Was it 04? Was when Randy Orton won the whole Survivors match, and I remember because I really liked the poster. It was all everyone was animated.
Okay. Because 04 was a big legacy push, I'm assuming.
No, 05 actually 05 has got a memorable one because Orton won that match as well, but Undertaker returned and he had that badass beard.
That's okay. That's 05. Okay.
You don't ask me after.
Well, because you know the other things I think about too, which is funny, you know, now looking back on it, is that was really when they were hitting the brand split super hard, was in that mid 2000s, late 2000s, and then they came up with that bragging rights pay-per-view. Remember that? Which was Survivor Series.
The reason why I remember that is because the only WWE event I ever attended was leading into.
Right, I think we had this discussion. Yeah,
we have had a discussion. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure because I went to that bragging rights because it was in Minneapolis. I'm pretty sure.
No, like what they did with bragging rights is what they ended up doing with Survivor Series. Or I think it should have been the case the whole time.
It was the same show. Yeah. They were like, "Oh, we'll just 4-on-4 SmackDown versus Raw." I'm like,
and like right before too.
Don't we? Yeah, because it was always summer, like June, July.
Bragging rights? No.
Yeah, wasn't it? It was early.
No, because I went in October to that Raw.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, bragging.
Never mind. That's even sadder then.
October 24th, 2010.
Jesus, it was that late in the year.
It was that late.
It's Survivor Series pay-per-view.
Survivor Series was literally the next pay-per-view.
Why would they do that? That's so stupid.
Which is the four most common words you hear associated with WWE nowadays. Why would they do that?
Oh my god. Why would they do that? And I will admit, you know what? Why not just take that? I love the term. I think the name bragging rights is actually a pretty fun pay-per-view title.
Mm-hmm.
if you have a real stipulation.
Yeah.
Like, come on. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Survivor Series is
It's a tough one because I know why
it's a
it's
tough
still
one.
there. It's because it's one of the prestige pay-per-views. But if you look,
Right.
like if you rank them, it's number 4 by far.
Well, even if you watch like some of the old ones, the original ones, I mean, like I told you, I have 1990 playing right now. It is just a mishmash of shit.
Which is the way it was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be, but really, when you look back right now, I'm going to tell you right now. This is what I see right on my TV right now. The one team is Rick Martel, Paul Roma, Hercules, and Warlord versus the Rockers, Jake the Snake, and of course they do a pan shot that it's so blurry I can't see who they are. Rockers, Jake the Snake, and Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Oof.
How random is that, Soda?
Very, very random.
And it's the only
the whole Survivor Series.
I know. So I don't know if that works today. That concept either.
There's no, because of the way the storytelling has evolved, you can't do that.
You can't do, like, I remember this because I know the reason why this is happening. It's because Martel and Jake the Snake they're feuding now, so that makes sense. But then it's just, let's just throw 3 random people with them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah. Like Hercules and Paul Roma. I think we're having a small feud with the Rockers.
Possibly, or it's just heel tag team versus good tag team. I know Warlord. Talking about roids.
Oh yeah.
He is humongous here. He is just huge. And then Snuka looks ridiculous because this is way at the end of his run.
Oh,
he's in his long pants, and he's got a goatee. Like, this is way past Snuka's time. So but
these teams, like for example, the second to last match, the match before the main event, the alliance of Butch, Luke, Nikolai Volkov, and Tito Santana defeating the Mercenaries, Boris Zukov, Sergeant Slaughter, Sato, and Tanaka.
I love Sato and Tanaka though, but yeah, agreed. Like, it's so random.
Yeah, the Hulkamaniacs, Bossman, Hogan, Duggan, Tugboat, makes sense. Against the Natural Disasters, Barbarian, Dino Bravo, Earthquake, and Haku, because Hogan and Earthquake were feuding.
That one makes sense because those all sound like they work.
Yeah, and Bravo was obviously with Earthquake and what have you. The $1 Million Team, who was feuding, it would have been Dusty Rhodes and DiBiase were feuding.
Who remembers that?
Well, I kind of do for the SummerSlam 1990 angle with Sapphire.
It's Sapphire, yeah, makes sense.
And then Honky Tonk Man and Valentine were a team, but I don't remember, were they feuding with the Hart Foundation?
Nope.
Yeah, and then then the Undertaker was the debut. Yep. And then you had Coco Beware in there.
And Coco is there just a job for the Undertaker because that's what he did. I just watched it.
That particular Survivor Series is memorable because it's the only time that they've ever done this, where it was the winners of the sole survivors from every match faced off against each other.
Yep. Well, I know the baby faces was Hogan, Warrior, and Santana. That's it.
One of these things is not like the other. Nothing against Santana. The best worker of the 3.
By far.
And then on the other team you want to take a guess?
You'll
never fucking get them in a million years.
I don't even think I've watched a bad guy win yet. Is Ted DiBiase one of them?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I don't. I don't know.
The others were Hercules, Paul Roma, Rick Martel, and the Warlord. It was a 3-on-5 handicap match.
So I'm currently watching that match. So currently those 4 are going to beat Jake the Snake, Snuka, and the Rockers.
I think that one was a clean sweep, if I'm not mistaken. The beauty about Wikipedia is they actually give you the stats.
It's definitely a clean sweep. That's
for sure. Yeah, Jannetty lost to Warlord by pinfall. Snuka lost to Martel by pinfall. 4 minutes later, 6 minutes later, HBK lost to Roma, and Jake the Snake got counted out.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, we'll probably get to that while we're still talking on this. I'll let you know why that happens.
Right. So you want to just hop into the other part we're gonna discuss?
Let's do it.
Okay, so what we decided to do is I built a team of women and men competitors, one team for each. Dustin has done the same. This is our Survivor Series team, but we are taking one wrestler from different eras.
Yep.
So for the men's, we've got the Golden Era, the New Generation, Attitude, PG, and Modern.
Yep.
And for the women, we combine the Attitude, the New Generation, and the Golden Era because there really wasn't a lot of women's wrestling back then.
Yeah. So we figured we'll split them up between the last probably most likely 20 years.
So what do you want to do first? Men or with female?
Let's get the brain going. Let's do the men. That should be a little simpler, I would think.
So
do we want to go back and just go back and forth?
Let's go back and forth. We'll start off with the Golden Era.
All right, you can start.
Which is the Hulk Hogan era. I chose Mr. Perfect.
Ooh. So you're going technical. So before we get too far into this, I need to know. So when you were making your team, were you trying to we will figure this out as you say your team, but were you trying to figure out like, I need the technical guy, I need the big guy, I need the
No, I was
power guy.
Think of who are the better competitors at that time, and I was also trying to jog my memory of past Survivor Series as well.
Sure.
And unfortunately, Mr. Perfect, I don't quite remember him in the Survivor Series, but he was one of the best Intercontinental champions of all time, and like you said, one of the best technical wrestlers. So he needed to be on there. And I did realize that there was a pattern on my list. I just didn't realize that till now.
See, in my head. Oh, before
I was gonna say it's a little bit technical, but you'll see by the time I'm done.
Okay, because in my head, I had a buddy of mine just send me one of them.
Sorry,
the pictures. Sorry. I had a buddy of mine send me one of the pictures where it was like, if you had $15, spend it and make a Survivor Series team. So I was like, okay, and I thought of it like, okay, if it's my Survivor Series team, I want something of everything. And so I chose that, and he goes, I see what you did there. And I'm like, well, you need the big guy, and then I needed, the small guy, and then I needed the main event guy. Like, I don't know why. Okay, well, if I'm picking this era, and I feel like I don't want to take Hogan or Warrior, because I can take it because of why. I think I'm taking Jake the Snake.
Really?
Right now. Yeah, I think that's what I want as my era, because not only is it character, technical, I don't want the main event guy on my team, my captain, to be from this era, I would think. So I want this era of guy to be like probably my 5th out of 5.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm thinking. I think Jake would be fun.
Jake would be fun.
So I think Jake and Perfect are fun. I think those are 2 good people from the eras.
2 of the non-obvious ones too, which I like.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Who'd you pick? So my turn. From the New Generation, I picked Bret the Hitman Hart.
Fuck. Well, you took mine.
That's what. If we had the same, that's yeah.
No, you can't do that. No, it's fine. We'll switch it up. I don't want to have the same. I would pick. I don't want to say Sean, even though I should.
Oh yeah.
But again, I'm trying to think. Like,
but think about it. With Shawn Michaels, you have 2 previous feuds in there: Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart.
Yeah. Yeah. I would choose either. I don't know if I'd choose Sean or Razor.
You could choose this guy.
Stop it. Gotta stop it. It's so fucking funny. I thought of that the other day, by the way.
What,
somebody? I was watching NXT and Braun Breaker came up, and immediately I'm like, this fucking guy with this stupid fucking toy image of Scott.
It's Steiner,
so
not Steiner.
It's yeah. I don't know. I want to take Razor, but I feel like if you have Bret, I almost have to have Sean. So I'd probably just take Sean. It only makes sense, especially in that era.
For sure, because Sean and Bret were that era.
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do?
I mean, you've also got Luger. You got Yoko. I would
never take Luger. God, I would be tempted to take Yoko. Yoko is one of my favorites, and I would like to have a big guy on my team. So I'd be tempted to take Yoko there. Yeah. But then Sean could be my team captain. So
True. Yeah, for mine, probably Bret would be team captain.
Yeah.
For my Attitude Era pick, I went X-Pac.
Ooh, that's your left field
That
pick, huh?
that's my left. Yeah, that's my left field pick. But he would also be probably the first one to go.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
So you pick X-Pac. Well, that makes me feel like, I mean, I'm also trying to think logically. Like, I can't just stack this with main event guys, or else this isn't fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if I go Attitude, I can't just say Austin. Like, that's less interesting for the game.
Mm-hmm.
If I just Attitude Era, because now I want to stay in your realm, because you're going first, so I want to stay in your realm. I would take. You know, the first guy that pops in my head. I told you I didn't come up with a plan.
Yeah.
Ken Shamrock.
Oh, that's a good one. The Bruiser.
Yeah, I think Bruiser. You know, the UFC tie over, huge guy, intense. I think I would take Shamrock. I think he's an interesting Attitude Era pick. I think the Xbox pick's really good.
So I'm actually gonna write these down. HBK and Shamrock. Okay, so these next two you could actually interchange them with the eras. For my PG, I went with Randy Orton.
Okay. So, and let me clarify. I know
the reason why.
Are we doing Ruthless Aggression and PG separate, or are we keeping them? Because he can really be either.
That's the weird one.
My God, he's been here for 20
I think
years.
probably we'll go PG with this because I'm trying to think. I know there was a time early in his career where Randy Orton and Survivor Series were almost synonymous. Like that was his event. Yeah. So I would go the PG era because when did the Ruthless Aggression era end?
It's from people say it's from 03 to 06. That's the rough estimate because that's 02 to 06 because that's Brock, Cena, Evolution, and then you get to the end and you're getting Eddie, Chris, Benoit, Jericho.
So 02 to 08.
Is it 08? Jeez, it goes that late. And then the PG era follows.
Article. This is from 2012.
Interesting.
Yeah,
because the PG era technically isn't
the PG era kicked in 2012. Apparently, this is according to Bleacher Report.
What the hell? Well, that's fine. Orton's good pick there.
Yeah, because like I said, there was that time where it's for 3 years in a row, he was the sole survivor for his team.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I'm sure. Did you see the stat this week about Orton at Survivor Series this week?
The most pay-per-views.
Yeah. Isn't that insane? 177 pay-per-view matches.
I still remember when he entered the company.
Yeah. I know.
Again, world.
What a man. What a that means he never gets
better now.
God, he's so good. He's my wife doesn't really follow wrestling much, but there's something about Orton that she's fully when he's on TV, she will watch Randy Orton. She always has for the 13 years we've been together. She's just, and I've even asked her about it. She says there's just something about him that you watch him.
He's
and
magnetic.
He does.
Which is weird to say. He's got the promo skills now. He's got the ring skills. He's got the presentation down. He is the total package.
Yes, and he has one of the greatest finishers.
Oh, for sure. Little bit of a sidestep. Did you watch any of Raw on Monday?
I did not. I only watched the main event.
Okay, go back and watch Matt Riddle dressed as Randy Orton.
No way.
It was great. Oh yeah, hair back.
I didn't see this.
Did the fake goatee beard, came out to his theme song, did the whole thing. Had shorts similar to Orton, but Riddle style. And instead of boots, he had taped up ankles.
Funny.
Check, no joke, man. Check it out.
I will. I did not see that.
Fine. But for the whole Riddle stuff, Riddle and Orton together, I don't know what it is. You'd think it'd be oil and water, but no.
Oh man, it works perfect.
Yeah.
The RK Bro thing it's very good. It's really good.
Is probably my favorite segment they've done. Is this
one?
Is this one because it's funny because Randy Orton was like, yeah, you should be more like me in terms of your psychology and stuff. And Riddle took it seriously and tried to be him.
Funny. I'll have to watch that now.
And it's
But
just so
yeah,
funny trying to see him be Randy Orton, trying not to like do too much facial expressions because he doesn't want his stuff to fall off.
that's funny. The one thing I have to say too, the thing about Orton, like let's talk about the magnetic word, the magnetism you used is so right.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're a wrestling fan, right? So you've done all the things where you do the stereotypes, like you walk through a door and you pretend like you're
Sure.
entering
I still
somewhere.
do the Razor Ramon thing every once in a
Do you?
while.
Yeah, we've said that.
Sure.
I honestly will tell you, there's pictures I have with my wife, and my mom has one of them on, like, because it's a good picture of my mom, my sister, my wife, and me. And in the background, I'm like this in it because I was
Nice.
so into Orton at the time.
Yeah.
I remember constantly just standing just like this. And I'm like, why do I do that? It's so ridiculous,
So
but I just
I do
love
the
it.
people's eyebrow once in a while, but not with this one because for whatever reason I can't do it. I can do it with this one.
We got good eyebrows. That's good. The other one I do? You want to know the other one I do?
Sure.
It took me a while, but I do the perfect spit gum and hit.
Me too.
I just did it this morning.
Yeah. I practice it so much at work. Another one that this is the first one I practiced was the Undertaker's.
Oh yeah. I never could get the eyes. I've tried many times.
I was
Never
a
could get it.
lonely only child. So I sat in my room a lot, and I actually did it until I could do it. So now I can do the whole eye thing at will.
Yeah.
But another one I do, I have to be in the right mood, and the right song with the right beat has to be on. I do Austin's Walk.
Do you? Oh, do you do that?
Oh yeah, just full on like fucking him coming to the ring with the look.
That's funny.
Yeah.
The only one I do when I have one of my best friends. It's been my best friend for a long time, and he does not care about wrestling, and he thinks it's really stupid, and I'm like, that's fine. So when I get it is stupid, but that's why we like it. I'm like,
he's stupid.
Oh, he is stupid. I know. I tell him that.
Okay.
But when I get really drunk with him, like this happened a few years ago, like we started making fun of wrestling, and that was when Cena, of course, was huge. And he just like pulls it up on his phone. He just plays Cena's entrance music. And of course, I like start doing all of Cena's like bullshit.
yeah.
So now, literally, there's not a time where we don't get wasted together, and like magically throughout the night, I just hear, and I'm just like, and then we just like it's so ridiculous.
Another one I've tried to do, and this is the only one I haven't been able to nail, is Triple H's water bottle spit. I've never been able to do that first try. It usually takes about 2-3 times, but to get into the first shot, never could do it.
Yeah, another one. Thinking back now, as a kid, so stupid. I used to do the Sandman with soda cans. I would pound a Pepsi and just slam it like after football practice.
How often would you bleed?
I didn't do it that hard. I was still a kid. I'm like, I'm too weak. I'm too weak to actually crack it. Like,
it's pretty hard to crush a can on your head if you don't go.
I know. I'd already have it like pre-crunched in my hand, so it just kind of folded.
Yeah, me too.
But I would do the thing. Ow! Oh yeah. There's a few times I think I went for it, and I'm like, that's not fun at all.
Yeah,
what an idiot!
Out like right before.
Yeah, because I used to think the Sandman was the coolest fucking dude.
Still has one of the best entrances.
Oh God, I love everything about that guy. I cannot wait until we finally get some ECW talk in here. It's going to be wonderful. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm watching. By the way, it's happening right now.
Okay.
Jake the Snake grabbed the snake, and he's chasing Rick Martel out of the arena with it. That's it. Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on the blindfold match? I have to ask you.
It's fun.
It's fun, right?
It's super fun.
It's one of the best gimmicky matches I've ever seen because they made it work.
And I thought they actually did it right. They made it seem like if you were like
using the crowd as a barometer. Martel did the same thing, but to the comic effect fail. Around. Didn't he try to like elbow drop the air once?
Yeah, they did the air. I think Martel like attacked the turnbuckle at one point. Yeah. And like doesn't Jake grab the ref at one point? Like it's super funny. And yes, the Jake Point thing is so good. I love it. Okay.
It was a great match to have fan participation, which when you're thinking, when you just see it on paper, it doesn't come to mind. But when you're watching it, it's like, oh, these guys.
It is amazing they have never done it really again.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think you can pull it off. But what's funny is I think there was another one.
I know they've done other things where they've blindfolded people and such, but I guess I'm not thinking of. of when they've done just a blindfold one-on-one
Oh,
match.
no, they did Santino versus Drew in 2012.
Oh
And they did
God,
Dexter Lewis versus Cameron Grimes last year, which that one I remember.
I have absolutely no fucking recollection of that. I do
Yeah,
not know that
I
happened.
forgot about the Santino one. Like I didn't know that happened, but I do remember the one between Cameron Grimes and.
I remember the Santino one. Now that you say it, that makes sense with
I think
Santino.
I do think that's it. But in all honesty, it's a goofy gimmick that I don't think anybody else could have pulled it off but Jake.
Right, but it worked.
It worked. It's still one of the WrestleMania 7 is one of my favorite WrestleManias, and it's one of the standout matches.
Hey man, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough fun in wrestling anymore.
Right.
I just love me some. That's the reason why, like we just said earlier, that 5-on-5 guys match at Survivor Series, it didn't matter. But at the end of the day, I literally when the match was over, I went, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
it didn't matter.
The perfect wrestling show is the perfect mixture of what we're getting, like the old Attitude Era / AEW now, and the fun aspect that we
the
get.
Fun.
Yeah,
we're missing a little bit of fun without being too fun. Too fun gets corny and dumb.
Yeah,
you need to find fun.
Yeah,
right. So,
all right, back to this list.
All right, well
so
then mine
as the PG. So who is your representative?
Well, and I'm gonna pull like a guy that just like Orton. This is where I put in Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah, Brock Lesnar from this time. Holy shit!
That's what I want. I want the big young monster because I need that for my team.
The one who actually wrestled.
Mm-hmm. Okay, don't start this.
No. I mean, like, what I mean is, like, if you
I'm just giving you shit.
Actually wrestled. I mean, if you compare the two, he did a lot more what we consider wrestling back then, like a lot more submission, the mat stuff.
Of course,
I love Rock now, but he doesn't bring that out much.
I'm just giving you shit. I know. Yeah, no. So those are two good choices. I mean, they're the epitome of that era. So
100%. Brock had probably one of the best 2-year runs of all time.
Just a crazy 2-year run.
And so my modern one, I am bringing this back to the 2014 Survivor Series. I picked the show off, Dolph Ziggler.
Oh wow!
It can either be him or X-Pac
you went small.
See, and that's what I noticed was I went all technical, and I went some of the best wrestlers of the generation. I didn't even realize it. And Randy. No, well, here's the thing. Some of them are deceptively small. Like Randy Orton's not small.
Brett is not small.
X-Pac, yeah, he's probably on my height, but because he is more on the slender side,
right? Oh God, the modern one, man, is so tough. Yeah. Only because I took Brock, I feel like I can't take a big guy because that just doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. Wow, man, this is probably the hardest one to think about, the modern one. So you took Dolph Ziggler. Jesus, man. Pulled that one out of left field on me.
Because
this is tough.
Series was just that ending was so memorable with him.
So good. You know who I would take? I would take Bray Wyatt.
Ooh, which version?
Bray. I want the cult. I want the cult Bray. I would take Fiend Bray, but that's what I would take. I'd take Bray. I'm not sure if I should have Bray and Jake. Maybe that's not great, but I think it'd be all right.
That would work. All right, so for the men's, I picked Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart, X-Pac, Randy Orton, Dolph Ziggler, Ewan, Jake the Snake Roberts, Shawn Michaels, Ken Shamrock, Brock Lesnar, and Bray Wyatt. I honestly, I think you have the more evenly distributed team.
Yeah, well, that's how I was thinking of it. It only made, I don't know. That's how I think about doing a team. But you have Bret Hart though; he's the GOAT. So
yeah. But yeah, the way I was trying to build is like, okay, who do I know could have a good match with anybody? And if you look at these 5, they can have a good match with a broomstick.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, let's not say Shamrock and Bray can have good matches with everyone because they can't.
Right? We know Brock can when he wants to. Shawn Michaels is Shawn Michaels.
And Jake can.
And Jake is there for the fans. Like he's Jake the fucking Snake.
Jake the
so this is the one that's going to be interesting.
The female ones should be interesting.
So
do we want to kind of try to split it up a little bit?
How so?
Try to think. No, let's just go for it.
Okay. So for my combined era, it's Alundra Blaze.
Yeah, you're picking Alundra?
Yeah, well, I couldn't think of anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if we could go into the Attitude Era, but I mean, like, who do we have? We have Ivory, we got China, we got fucking China. Like, I just didn't even think about that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like thinking of China, but I'm like, maybe he's gonna put China somewhere else.
No,
I'll take China.
There you go.
Now, anyway, Alundra's great.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think that would actually be a pretty cool match to see.
Right.
I think it would have a good match. Alundra Blaze versus China.
Yeah. Did you just see that Alundra wants to try to come and do one more match? She wants to come out of retirement for one more match. She's in good shape.
For sure. I mean, yeah, why not? I don't see it happening on the main stage, but if one of the go for it. She's earned it.
Yeah.
So this one, I actually have to flip these because I realized I wrote them in the wrong order. I went with Trish Stratus for my Ruthless Aggression.
And then I have to take Lita because it's just not possible not to take one or the other.
Yeah. And then next from I guess she would still be the same era. I went with Beth Phoenix.
Okay. Yeah, that's that era gets all mishmash because the ladies kind of stayed a while.
Ruthless Aggression, the kind of
the lady I would pick in that era, I'd pick Victoria.
Oh, good choice. I'm a big fan of Victoria.
I love Victoria. She might be my favorite female wrestler maybe of all time.
Really?
Yeah, I love her. I just think she's awesome and she has a great look. Super intense. She was like she's she's attractive but still but still could beat your ass strong, and in the time where
really well.
Right. And she was kind of like Beth. Beth came towards the end of the bra and panty stuff. Mm-hmm. But Victoria, people forget Victoria was fully in that. Like she had those matches. And what's
the first time you ever saw Victoria?
Yeah. Wasn't she
she was
one of the hoes, right?
Yeah, that was the first time I saw her was when she got put through the table.
Right, that's right. Yes, she did.
Yeah, that was when he became the Good Father.
The Good Father.
And I remember not too long after she popped up, I'm like, hey, it's the hoe.
Yeah.
I was 14, folks. Cut me some slack.
Hey, man. But yeah, no, and she wrestled for a long time. Oh, and she came back at the Royal Rumble. I was just like,
which was nice because for some reason she'd been blacklisted for whatever reason, so it was nice to see her come back and people remember.
Yeah,
but what
she's
I
awesome.
do not like is that she used that cheap ass version of her theme song.
She's a great theme. Her and Beth Phoenix actually both have great theme songs.
Mm-hmm.
I love Beth's theme. And I love Beth.
Just love Beth. Period. I think Beth, honestly, like not just the wrestler, but I would like to meet Beth Copeland, the person, because she seems like a delight.
She does. She is one of my favorite probably people in wrestling.
For sure. And like
her and Victoria both.
The NXT commentary team is probably my favorite commentary team going right now.
Yeah, Beth has gotten really good too. Because when she first jumped on, I remember I vividly remember having a discussion with one of my buddies, and we were like, "Holy shit, Beth is terrible at this." No. Like I understand she's still new and she has to figure it out, but you know how WWE can be sometimes with announcers and commentators. If you don't catch quick, you might not commentate very long.
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, this is going to take 3 weeks," and they're going to be like, "All right."
Yeah. And
it was fun.
Now?
Yeah, it's awesome. She's doing a great job.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of Beth Copeland, the person.
Yeah.
And she just dropped an EP in music this week.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you follow her on socials.
I must not. I should.
So every once in a while, she just released a video of her playing songs, and she ended up releasing an EP album.
Oh, interesting. I should look up if I follow her on Twitter right now as you make your next pick.
Talented. She's pretty talented musically.
Cool. I'm gonna look it up right now. All right.
Sorry, who did you just pick for your latest one?
Victoria.
Victoria. So you picked China, Lita, Victoria.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. I'm missing a name. It's because I had to erase it to put it somewhere. So this was another one that you could in there. I put Mickey James.
Yeah. Well, and some of
Because
these
Mickey James
ladies
is
wrestle a
great,
while.
but she's one of those ones what era does she fit in?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and some of these ladies wrestled quite a while, especially those ones in
Right?
between there.
And I mean, Mickey, you can even throw into the modern because she came back, right?
Yeah. Um. Okay. Mickey's a good one. Now I'm stuck between two. Oh man. I would take. All right. I'm gonna forego what I probably should do and take. I'm gonna take Nikki Bella.
Oh, good. See, that is somebody who I respect for how well they learned the craft.
Yeah.
She, especially her, she
Yes.
improved significantly.
She
Good choice.
She started to the last couple years. She broke away from her sister and really started to understand. Maybe she's not the best wrestler in the world, but she can be the best bitch in the world.
100%.
And
Now, question
she
for you.
owned it.
Oh, for sure.
She
For
owned it.
freaking sure. Both did, but her
Yeah.
more. For
Yeah.
sure. Now,
Agreed.
I totally forgot what I was going to ask you.
You sounded like you had an intense question,
Yes,
too.
there we go. Do you think Nikki Bella should have been the one to break AJ Lee's record?
Sure. She was. People got to understand. Them couple years of the Bellas, they were famous. Like famous humans. They had crossover appeal. They were on TV. They were selling merch.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it helped who their
They were
boyfriends
doing
were
all
at
the
the time.
interviews. They're doing all the PR, all the
They
appearances.
were and I'll be honest with you too. Like I said earlier, my wife doesn't watch. The most she's ever been invested in wrestling, ever,
Total Divas.
was the Total Divas. And then she watched that show and she openly said, she goes, we watched the show and it's stupid, right? And she openly admitted she never got into she didn't connect with any of the girls, but she connected with those Bella twins.
For sure.
And because of that, she started to watch. She also loved AJ at the time too. She was a huge AJ Lee fan, but she loved Brie and Nikki, and she still does. She still follows them. She watched Dancing with the Stars just to watch Nikki on it. A little while ago, she was on there.
And every thing we just listed is why they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Of course they do. Wrestling fans are fickle.
They don't, and it's just are you fucking kidding?
No. That's so wrong.
Look at how
they had a
much
huge run
for that company. They 100% deserve to be there.
Yeah, and they get Brie gets it just for having that match with Steph.
That match actually wasn't half bad. If I'm being
it was
honest.
Awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Great build, great match, great turn by Nikki. That was awesome. Yep. But yeah, no, I'm a huge Nikki Bella supporter. I've been a huge and
I wasn't at first, but they won me over.
Of course. I think I'm just the same way. And the other thing is I follow her on Instagram and stuff. I don't know if you do, Nikki. She's been in the gym a lot lately and making some wrestling references.
I'd heard about that.
Yeah, she posted a gym video with her Fearless t-shirt on, and she is oh yeah, just getting ready to run the ropes. She posted on one of her stories, and I'm like,
can she still do it because she has notorious neck issues?
I don't know. We're gonna find out, but I can see her coming back at some point.
So I put in Nikki spelled like that, and the first person that popped up was Nikki Benz, the porn star.
Well, I mean, you can be famous. You can be famous for other reasons too, Soda. So I get it.
Nikki Benz.
She's famous for probably a bunch of people out there.
Anywho,
all right, who's your modern?
Modern one? Modern era.
Ooh, this is a tough one.
This is where I picked my bruiser.
Okay.
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. It's a good bruiser.
It is.
I like Rhea.
She's got the size, and she would mesh well with any member on your list.
Yeah. Yeah, I love her. That was the one thing I really liked about the women's 5-on-5 from this last weekend was I liked a lot of the females that were in that match. Like they're all people I really enjoy to watch.
I'm looking forward to what they do with Rhea now that she's her Nikki. I cannot call her Nikki ASH. Nikki Cross are no longer the champs.
Thank God.
Gimmick, well, great. Name, shit.
I know the name is bad, and the game. I don't know. I never got sold on it.
I like the gimmick because it. How do I put this? You can tell Nikki is putting everything she has into it. And sure. it makes me smile. Do I always enjoy it? Not really, but I'm smiling because I know there's a lot of people out there that are in love with that character, and she's the perfect character at the right time, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, I don't disagree. I'm for it.
Yeah. I'm a huge Nikki Cross fan across the board.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, she's never been a person that most of the friends I have that are wrestling fans love her, and she was never somebody that caught with me. But I get it.
I love her. I'm always been a sucker for accents, but that Scottish, her Scottish accent's awesome. Especially when she's like all excited.
Let's say that is actually like her most fun part is the excitement factor of who she is.
Off like a happy Tasmanian devil.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, my last one. I think I almost have to. What I got China.
This is the toughest one because there are a lot to choose from on there. Now, could you imagine if we included like Impact and TNA? We'd still be here.
I know. All right, I think I'll finish her off, and I think it's cliche, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to take Bianca Belair.
Oh yeah, that's pretty damn good choice too.
I need the real. I need her athleticism. I think on my team.
WWE, pretty much.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Which,
so I think that'd be my.
I had no idea what that meant for the longest time.
I didn't honestly know until probably a couple weeks ago.
Oh really? I didn't know until when did I figure that? When did I finally realize that? I think it was when she came up to the main roster.
Really? I don't think I ever just registered it. Like they would say it, and I don't think I ever once paid attention.
Well, at that time, when she was in NXT, like I wasn't really watching NXT, so I knew who Bianca Belair was, but I didn't know anything about her. So I heard the EST and NXT. I'm like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? And then it was like the greatest, the fastest, the strongest. Duh.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I think I heard it when she first came up, but then I remember like completely never thinking of it again, and then I heard it on a podcast a couple weeks ago. And then I was like, holy shit. And then I was like, I forgot anything about that. But yeah, I think she'd be my captain on my team, I think. I'd make her tell China what to do.
Actually, my captain, I would. Oh fuck! Actually, mine's tough. I probably would go Trish. Actually.
Yeah, that only makes sense.
Yeah.
Trish
so for my female competitors, I had Lunder Blaze, Beth Phoenix, Trish Stratus, Canada represent, Mickie James, and Rhea Ripley, and you had China, Lita, Victoria, Nikki Bella, and Bianca Belair.
Yeah, your team's pretty good.
So's yours. That's the thing. Like this is what we just did. It's hard to pick a bad team.
Right. I mean, if we really wanted to, we could have just picked headliners the whole time, and then our teams would have just been super teams, and that would have been ridiculous. It's not always the best. No.
Now, granted, you could say these are super teams, but these are super teams that can work.
Right. Yeah. No, I have China. Don't go too far.
No, but honestly, China was not the most skilled, but she wasn't that bad in the ring. Like honestly, out of everybody on your list, I probably would put her like 4 or 5 in terms of skill, but she wasn't that bad. Well, okay, she needed the right opponent.
There you go.
She needed a Chris Jericho, but still, she was capable of good matches.
Yeah, she was big time. That's the thing about her. She was a star, and like goes back to Sid.
Yeah.
If you look like a star and are a star, that's the reason why I don't get like too hard on the. I know we're very into like technical wrestling in the modern era of wrestling, and like if you can wrestle, but like if you are a star and you're not great, like John Cena is a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
That guy he wasn't great. He wasn't terrible either. Let's not pretend that.
Oh, no,
but he's very middle of the road.
Yeah,
But you know
skill.
what?
Like if you look at how he delivers some of his moves, yeah, they
But
look awkward as hell.
who's the star? John Cena is.
Five
So
moves of doom.
5
Now,
moves of doom.
when MJF and tonight, so tonight they had one of my holy shit moments ever to happen in wrestling. MJF and CM Punk had a promo off for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was long. Yeah.
But when MJF called Punk PG Punk and said he's all hustle, loyalty, respect, and then afterwards, you can't see me. I was like, oh my god. Like it just blew my mind. But actually, the one that really made me blow my mind was when he told and when Punk told MJF that he is a less famous Miz.
That's a great one because you want to talk about another guy that is just like Nikki Bella. Is the Miz?
I'm a huge Miz fan,
dude. That guy is awesome. He deserves everything. He deserves everything he's ever gotten.
100%, and him and Damian basically. He's one of the main reasons that dumbass zombie match worked.
Yeah, he figures it out, man.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. There's success for a reason.
He's the consummate professional. He's a WWE lifer. Great in the ring. Great on the mic. Great. Mm-hmm. He's another one where he's got all of it. He has it.
He has it.
Yeah.
And people hate it that he has it, but he has it.
He's taller in real life than you'd think.
Yeah, he is. He looked great on My Wife Watches Dancing with the Stars. So yeah. I was watching that. He looked good.
I saw him in real life once.
Did you?
So I used to live in Vancouver, and me and two of my best friends, we went to Granville Island to go watch the Improv. But we went to the second show, and we're waiting in the lobby, and I'm looking, and I just see a glitter, and I'm like, The Miz. And I obviously I didn't approach him, but to my friends, I'm like, holy fuck, that's the Intercontinental Champion. Holy shit. Dude was like 6'2", 6'2". I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And because you compare him to other people, you look small, but no, he's actually pretty big in real life.
I mean, it looks like it.
And Maurice was there too. Yeah, Maurice. I was like, was Maurice there? Because he was filming one of the Marine movies.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. Yeah. Oh, Maurice. What a lucky guy.
That's the first I've ever come to a real life WWE Dalton. I was like, I was freaking out all night. I'm like, it is! And it's from what I heard, they actually brought him on stage to do improv.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Something he'd be good at.
Oh, for sure.
Well, is that it there, Soda?
That's it, because my voice is starting to go.
I can hear you. I heard it on that last one.
Ooh. All right, my friend. Where can everybody find you when you're not part of the Rude Brood?
I'm always part of the Rude Brood. All the time, every day. You can find me on Twitter, @DustinDebutte. Like I say, always movies, wrestling, death metal music, and whatever else I post on there. And then whatever else this guy and his band of cronies get me involved with. But he's the real man behind the show. I just talk wrestling. So where about you, Soda?
So you can find me on my personal Instagram and Twitter. It's Soda_the_Saxman. You can find me on almost every show on this channel, be it in front of the camera or behind the scenes. What the heck have we got up? Well, last week we just did our third ever all-night taco stand, which was a lot of fun. I managed to stay up for the whole thing. Don't know how I did it. Oh yeah, that's right, energy drinks. We have something really special coming up in December that I'm going to be plugging like mad when it's time. You guys are going to dig it. What else do I have? Actually, we're kind of taking it easy this week because it's American Thanksgiving. Showdown season's over. So there's really not much going on for that type of stuff right now. But you can find me this Saturday on Get Sweaty. You can find me at some point recapping Doctor Who with 50 Shades of Geek, Ben Rayner, and Jess Von Kahn, our resident Kiwi. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So don't forget, everybody, to like and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to like this video. Leave your thoughts in the comments. What are your Survivor Series teams using the same criteria we did? I'm curious to see what they are. So on behalf of myself and Dustin, we will see you next week on the Squared Slice. And don't forget, everyone, stay sweaty and see you in the ring.